Hello, and welcome to Stretching the Word. I'm your host, Sister Valerie, and not today, devil, just not this year. I want to talk about real DNA. You know, everybody jumped on the bandwagon trying to find out, who they was and, how much of this ethnicity they got in their blood. And, I want to know how much African I get, how much Irish I get, how much Polish I get, how much this I get, what percentage of this am I made of? Everybody jumped on the bandwagon, ancestries.com. Everybody want to know who they are and what their ancestors were like. And that's good. I'm not knocking that. But let's go to the Bible and find out really about our DNA. Let's start off with Psalms 139. Grab your sword. Okay, let's see. We're headed to Psalms, Old Testament. The book with lots and lots and lots of books in it. So I call it Psalms 139. And we're going to verse 13 and verse 14. Ready? Okay. Psalms 139 and 13. I'm reading, you want the King James Version today. I'll read BBE. It says, this was David talking, and he says, "My flesh was made by you, and my parts joined together in my mother's body. I will give you praise, for I am strangely and diligently formed. Your works are great wonders, and of this my soul is fully conscious." Now, let's go back and read the King James Version. And verse 13 says, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well." So David here was telling God that he knew that God had knitted him together. God had put all of his organs and made him fearfully and wonderfully made. We are not just a piece of junk thrown together. No, God made us, and he made us in his image. So, you get to talking about, you want to know what percentage of this and that you are. It says we are made or were made in the image of God. And God made us perfectly, fearfully, and wonderfully made. Okay? So now that we know that we were made fearfully and wonderfully and unique, even twins have something uniquely about themselves. So you don't have to, I understand you want to know, but let's deal with the scripture. You know why? Because sometimes we get off and you be like, oh, you might find out something that you don't want to know. I don't recall who it was, but they found out that they had a little more African in their blood than they really wanted. So, be prepared for the results. That's all I'm saying. Be prepared when you go looking. Be prepared for what may come up in, the DNA. But then let's go on to Romans 8. Okay, we're going to Romans 8, and we're going to go to verse 16. You can read all of Romans 8 at your leisure. You can start at verse 12, but I'm just going to start at verse 16, part B. Well, I'll read it on. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. But I want to talk about being a child of God. It says, if children, then heirs. You know what an heir is. Okay, let's find out what the meaning of heir is. Okay, let me see if I can go back and find that. Here we are. The meaning of heir, H-E-I-R, it says a person legally entitled to the property or rank of another on that person's death. Well, we know Jesus died and then he rose, okay? And then it says a person inheriting and continuing the legacy of a predecessor. So we are inheriting what Jesus inherited. Oh, wow. And then it says what? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So what is it that we don't have? We have gold, we have silver, we got knowledge, we got wealth. I mean, the earth is ours. But you know one reason why we really want to go through ancestors.com and all of these other things? Because we're looking to find if there's anybody in there that's maybe rich and famous. Why? Because we want to name drop. We want to tell people who we're connected to. Oh yeah, girl, I'm the third cousin of so-and-so, so-and-so. You know, my half-brother, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. That's why we really, the majority of us, if we be honest with ourselves, that's why we really, go through Ancestry.com and all of these other places that we can look up who our ancestors was and where we came from and all of that. It's because our flesh is looking for something, not that we just want to know. And then if you really want to know, do you really want to know? Because if you really want to know, then you gotta want to know what really happened. Then you're going to want to have to find out about those generational curses. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. So while you digging and digging and digging, remember to not just be carnal about the matter, but you have to go in there and see if there are any generational curses or something hanging on and hiding in the closet. So keep that in mind. But then, so we're heirs and we're joint heirs with Christ. So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So we have all of this stuff that is legally ours if we are the children of God. Now that's what our DNA gets us. Okay? We're fearfully and wonderfully made. So you don't have to believe that nonsense about you ain't nobody, you ain't gonna be no good, you ain't no good, all of this stuff. Because we just put that to rest, right? Right. Okay. Now we know, hey, I'm not broke and poor. So now we can walk in that authority. But then there's one other scripture to top it off. Let's go to 1 Peter 2 and 9. Okay. First Peter 2 and 9. Okay. Now, listen to this. It says, King James Version, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. We know that, Queen Elizabeth passed a couple of weeks ago or whatever, she was royalty. But not only are we royalty, but we are royal priesthood. So a holy nation, a peculiar people, and that we should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Wow. What a way to end, knowing about our DNA. Knowing that, hey, I've been chosen. Okay? I'm peculiar. I'm not the, common person. I'm unique. I'm special. Okay? In a good way. I'm of the royal priesthood. Okay? So I can strut my stuff as I give God the glory, as I give God the praises, because it's because of him that I have such great DNA.